So it's a temporary issue that we have to hold on to AstraZeneca. It is temporary until we figure out these issues. What are the next steps supposed to be? When we know those steps, then of course we bring it back.
The data from the AstraZeneca vaccine is hard to interpret. There's a lot of different trials with a lot of different doses. It does appear that that vector itself, the vehicle that's being used to deliver the spike protein in this case, is immunogenic, meaning that patients are developing some antibodies to the vector itself. So on the second dose, if it's given too soon, you actually could get reduced efficacy. So it's hard to interpret the AstraZeneca vaccine in isolation and its effects on B1351, the strain in South Africa. I think when you look across the other trials, what you're seeing is probably about a 20% reduction in vaccine efficacy against that South Africa variant, and probably the Brazilian variant as well. We've seen that now in a Novavax trial. We saw it in the J&J trial. I would expect a small drop-off in efficacy with the mRNA vaccines, but since those vaccines still have good overall efficacy, you're talking about 95% efficacy from those vaccines, I would expect that it would fall within the 70 to 80% range when they're actually tested against those variants in the real world, which is still quite robust. We don't know yet. We just have experimental evidence. We don't have in vivo evidence, meaning in people. Hopefully we're going to have that soon, but I wouldn't expect a major reduction. So the good news is most of the vaccines that we're using right now should provide some meaningful efficacy against that variant. We will have boosters hopefully available in time for the fall that target these variants. I don't think these variants, the South African Brazilian variant, P1 and B1351, are going to become a major issue in the United States until the fall at the earliest. Right now, they're very low prevalence here in the United States, and then we don't know if they're more fit. We don't know if they're more contagious, or that it's just founder's effect in these two markets. They got into these two markets and became the prevalent strain. We are more concerned about them than the UK variant because they do appear to be able to pierce prior immunity. So people who've had the infection, we believe they may be getting reinfected with these variants, and that's why you see it spreading in parts of Brazil and South Africa where they've already had a lot of infection. But we should be able to develop boosters that target these new variants within 4 to 6 months, so it gives us plenty of time to do that in time for the fall. And FDA right now is working on guidance that would lay out, I think, a pretty reasonable pathway for manufacturers to be able to advance those products. And all of them, as you know, are working on them, as well as the company I'm on the board of, Pfizer.